Hey guys, today I'm going to be looking at all of the welding helmets that I currently own. We're going to go from the most expensive to the least expensive, along with which one is better for price ranges and just everything about them. We get to see how they weld. I'll give you a review on each one welding, and we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to start by just talking about each helmet, the price range, and where it's at. Over here on my right, this is my Lincoln 3350 series. It's an auto darkening helmet. This is the most expensive out of all four of these. It was around $250 plus tax is about $260, but it's a very good build quality. I've shown it in a video before. The clarity, it's very nice. The headgear, very smooth. I like this headgear a lot. And I use this mainly for my TIG welding at work, but you can also use it for stick and MIG, and it's just very clear for all applications. Very comfortable, by the way, but the only downside between this and the least expensive is it is pretty heavy, but the headgear does help dispense the load. Next one is this YESWELDER auto darkening helmet. This is brand new. I've not used this yet. It's got a very unique design where it kind of looks like the other style, but these side panels darken. So instead of this one where these side panels that it has for the extra viewing area are just the regular tinted green, these are clear and they also darken. It also comes with their upgraded headgear that I believe might be new. So it's very smooth, just like the Lincoln. It's got a nice pad in the back. The way that I like to describe it is like when you have headphones with that nice padding on it. That's what it's like, so very cushiony. And a lot of people complain about over by their temples where this sits. And this has these little gel pads, I think, that are very nice. Then it has the sweatband and really nice headgear. I also like the color a lot. It kind of reminds me of a caterpillar. So you could get a cat sticker here, but each of these side panels, this one has one sensor, this one has a sensor, and then I believe it has four. Yes. There's four in the front, along with this one. And this came around, I believe it is $150 on their website. Next up is another YESWELDER. This was my first auto darkening hood. Like I said, it has the side view, which you can see later. These do not darken though. It's also a lot more, I believe, it looks like this one has a bigger viewing area, but this one's clearer. And this headgear has a rubber back, and I did have problems after a little bit of use. I think it was about 3 or 4 months of just using it nonstop that this headgear not as smooth. But the sweatband goes up over to the temple, so it's very comfortable to wear. I believe it could be a little bit heavier from this one, but I think that it's got enough room right here that you could fit a respirator underneath this. But this is a pretty good helmet. It was around $90. That was on Amazon. And it's got the side, change the shade. Forgot to mention, this one has the shade in the middle, but it's got a grind button. And this one, everything is inside, but that's not a problem because they moved it from the top down so you could adjust it better. And last but not least was my first welding helmet. This is just the plain Lincoln, not auto darkening. It's a fixed shade. I believe it is a shade 10. The headgear is very standard. The ratchet you get to push in. And I believe it's a very good helmet for beginners. My teacher did recommend replacing the lens with maybe a gold lens. That was his personal preference though. It is very light. This is also very cheap. I think it is around $40. But it was very easy to learn with. It just doesn't darken. I have used this particular lens for some of my videos to film art shots. It's not very clear, but it is still nice to use and you can learn with it. And I'd recommend this if you're just getting into welding and you didn't want to spend too much on an auto darkening helmet. I believe that if you are going to buy an auto darkening helmet, you shouldn't go for the really cheap ones. Like Harbor Freight has those dirt cheap auto darkening helmets. I have buddies that use those. They don't really like them. They last a little while, but then they fail. So now I'll get to showing you guys me welding with them, my opinion on them, and also try and get some shots with them. It's got all this adjustment up here. If you look through there, try and get a shot with you guys. It's very clear. Right down here, you do have all of your controls. You have a test button. And it's very easy to replace the battery and take this out. You just have to push those in. And then over here by the grind button, if you hold down this grind button for 3 seconds, I think it is, that light will blink. And I'll show you that's in grind mode. Every few seconds that will flash like that. So you remember that you're in grind mode. And if you hold it again, 1, 2, 3, there we go. So this helmet's pretty expensive. It's very nice though. It's very rigid. It's flexible, but it won't break on you. And it's got a very big viewing screen. Nice matte finish. So I'll show you guys me welding with it, and then show you what it looks like to weld through it. Alright, so I have the helmet on. You don't really feel it that much. There is a lock feature, so it locks right up here. You just flip it down. Adjust your headgear just right. So I'm going to be welding on this scrap piece of metal that I got from work. Just doing some MIG with pure argon, so it's not going to have as much penetration. So I'll just weld with it, do a small bead, and try and show you guys the clarity. And it's on the YESWELDER MIG 205DS. So turn it on, get set up. Gas. Flip it into mag mode. Gotta uncoil the gun. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so it's very clear. You can see just about everything. Hear me. I underestimated how thin this metal was. I burned through. That's not the welder's fault. That was just user's error. Came out pretty nice, but the helmet's very clear. I'll have to show you guys. It's very nice to use, very comfortable. And if you're welding all day, I feel like you'd have no problem. I have some kind of neck issues where I have neck pain a lot. And so all I'll do is take off the helmet, move my neck around a little bit, just give it a rest for a little bit, and then go back to my work. So I'll show you guys what it looks like when you're welding with this. Alright, so now we're inside the helmet. Sorry about that. This is what it looks like. It's very clear. And if we go to just start welding, it's hard to do this. It's very clear. Again, this is very hot. I might need to go get some more thinner metal, but you can see everything very clearly. Try and do it again a little bit. It's that true color technology that they have. I believe the clarity is a 1-1-1-1, which is the best that it could be. And if you can see, I'll just take you guys out of the helmet. It's just a slight shade down. There's the first weld, that's where I burned through. And it's just me trying to show you. But it's a very clear helmet. I like it a lot. Here's a closer look at my brand new YESWELDER. I believe this is their newest design. See, it's very clear. This is the same clarity as the Lincoln. Here's that head pad. Looks exactly like you would have on headphones. I think that's pretty cool. It's got these soft rubber sides, a lot of adjustment up here in the head, and this swivels. I did not know that. It's very nice. It's got your side knobs. It doesn't have any grind buttons or anything on the sides, but you can see it's got those side panels that do darken. It's a slightly smaller viewing area than the other YESWELDER, but it's also a lot smaller than the Lincoln. Here, the controls on the inside, so you could switch from all the shades. And it did come with a carrying bag, as did the Lincoln and the other YESWELDER, but my non-auto darkening did not come with one, but it doesn't really need it. So I'll do a little bit of welding with it to let you guys know how I feel about it, and show you what it looks like. Alright, we got the new YESWELDER on. Let's see how it welds. Try not burn through this one. Alright, so it did burn through. It sucks, but it looks just as clear as the Lincoln. It's very surprising. I'll have to mess with my settings a little bit. We're still burning through. Not very good. Might get a thicker piece of metal, but I was looking when you set your head to the sides. It really does give you that panoramic feeling. Even though there's a pretty big barrier right here between the two, you do get to see everything, and it feels like it's so close to your face that it doesn't fog up, but you can see out of it, and it's very nice. I do like this helmet a lot. Here we are inside the helmet. You can see it's very clear. You can see everything. So we're going to try hold this and do some welding for you guys. That time it didn't burn through. It's not a nice weld, but you can see just how clear this is. It really does have that 1-1-1-1 clarity, and I'm very surprised with the panoramic. It's a very nice helmet. The only thing that I do have a problem with is this ratchet might be a little bit too big for my head. It does say somewhere L, I believe is for large, so I might be the size down, but you can see the difference. And these sides, they're also very clear. It's a nice helmet. I really like that. This helmet. This is another YESWELDER. This is a slightly less good version of the one that we just saw. That one is very nice. This one, it's pretty nice. I think it's good for hobbyists, not exactly everyday use, just putting it through everything. I did have a problem with the ratcheting system. It's got to a point where when I put it on my head, it seems like it just ratchets and doesn't stay on. That could be my fault, it could be YESWELDER's fault. I don't think it's either. But headgear is one thing. You could just go on Amazon and get really nice headgear for like $30. Goes right in, replaces. But this one has these side panels, just like the other one. I'll show you guys that up close. Don't know if you can see, but there's those side panels in there. Those do not darken. And this one also has all of the buttons. You can see up at the top. Has the adjustments, but these don't move around up and down like the other one. This does move, but like I said, this head, it's just not that well. It's also a pretty big helmet, so if you need to use a respirator, you could. It's got all this space in here. It goes back about, I'd say 2 inches from here. You can see that. It's a nice helmet, don't get me wrong, but I just think that maybe more for hobbyists than what I put it through. Because I was welding with it every day for 2 to 3 hours, putting it through everything, even going right underneath the puddle with it and having it hit me right in the face. But it's a pretty nice helmet. I don't think it's as clear as the Lincoln or the other YESWELDER, but I'll show you guys how it welds. So this is what it looks like inside the other YESWELDER. As you can see, it's pretty dingy and dark. This, I don't think I've cleaned for a little while, so it's pretty dark, but we'll just try welding a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, it's not quite a true color. They say it is, but I feel like it has a little bit of a tint. And these sides just stayed exactly like that. And I'm not really trying to do any good beads, just trying not to burn through. But this could be used for a hobbyist. I think it's a step up from the Harbor Freight that you can get those auto darkenings. It has a lot better headgear than them. But I think that if you're going to spend the $90 in this, you might want to upgrade to this one. This helmet's just very impressive. So now I'll show you the last helmet that I have. This helmet. This is a standard Lincoln. As you can see, you can't see through it. And this has got some memories on it. This got me through stick welding and just doing all the stupid stuff you would when you first start. And I thought it couldn't be done, but my buddy actually broke one of these recently. Got angry, like you will when you're welding, smacked on the table, and the inside lens shattered. Not a big deal, you just get a replacement for like 16 to 20 bucks. But this one, my one friend, he's complained that since there's literally just this and the back adjustment that doesn't swivel up and down, he's complained that this hits his head in a way that just hurts. But I'd say if you're just starting out and you're learning and you're really not too sure if you want it, if you're gonna get into welding, I'd recommend this helmet. Because if you break it, you're not out $150, $90, whatever. You're just out 40 bucks. And at least you had fun with it. You got a nice token, but this is still a nice helmet. I'll show you guys welding with it. I'll weld with it to show you guys why I think you should honestly have an auto darkening helmet instead of one of these. But yeah, it's got all the stickers and everything that I put on it. So I'll show you guys me welding with that, and I'll show you what it looks like to weld through it. So here we go. I don't think I've ever honestly welded MIG with one of these. I'll have to see how it goes. So what you want to do with these, since they don't auto darken, you can't just flip it down. You want to get set up, kind of like you're about to start welding. I'll go right here. Put it down. I can't see it clearly. I was waiting for it to undarken, but it doesn't. So, honestly, these helmets, they're quite clear. I don't think it'll show very well in the video, but you will see that it does have that lime green tint that is expected with most of these because they don't have that new technology. But it's very weird. You can't see as clear with these since they don't darken. Shut the machine off for a second. Since they don't darken, you guys kind of only see where the weld is. You see a little bit next to it, but that's about it. With the other helmets, I'm pretty sure you can kind of see that you could see most of this plate. It's warping a lot, actually. But you can see just about all of that. But with this one, it's kind of just a, like, maybe an inch diameter circle around that you can see. I'll try and show you guys what I'm talking about. Here's the inside of a fixed shade. It's dark. So, going to try and start welding here soon. Get you guys set up. So, as you can see, it's got that lime green tint. So that's no fun. Get you guys out of here. It's very dark. But I'd recommend this if you're just starting out, not too sure if you want to weld, but if not, I would upgrade to that or the other Lincoln. But let you guys know how I feel about them. Alright, lighting's getting kind of bad, it's getting pretty late, but that was kind of my review on these helmets. It was also a review on my new one. I'll have to use it a little bit more, let you guys know how I like it. Just a huge shout out to YESWELDER for making good welders, good helmets, also sending me this helmet. Thank you guys so much, this thing is great. I also love your welders, they're awesome. So I think that these two are my top picks, but that's if you're going to be professionally welding, fabrication welding, and I want to say that this is probably one of my favorites, but that might just be because I had it longer. I'm so impressed with how these darken, I was not expecting that. And this one, I mean, it's pretty okay, but for just a little bit more, you can get this helmet. Just got the better headgear and all the nice bells and whistles you'd want. Again, I'll let you guys know later on about this ratcheting system. It's nice, but I feel like it stops right before it gets on my head, and the Lincoln hugs my head a little bit more. I do like that the Lincolns come with stickers. As you can see, I decorate mine with my name and nickname my buddies in welding class call me. Court date Nate. This one just says Nate on it. It's got all the stickers. But yeah, these are all my helmets. I like them a lot. I do recommend starting, if you know that you're going to do hobby welding a little bit, I would definitely go with the auto darkening. If you're not too sure if it's even for you, definitely like a fixed shade to start because it costs nothing. But yeah, thanks for watching.